Grand rise, peace, love, divine light. Next is here, Sacred Soul Sisters. And this is another Warrior Healers Week. All right, I am Nexus, like I said. And so this week we will be discussing alkaline versus acidic. All right, and we have a whole series lined up for you. A little warrior healing music as we wait on a few sisters to come into the group. All right. So what's in my mug? All right, while we wait, I have some elderberry and sea moss tea. And it's rather delicious, refreshing, and healing. All right. If you like to add sweeteners, you can use some natural sweeteners like your honey or your agave. All right. And then we'll talk a little bit as we progress about, in the next couple of weeks, even the difference between using honey and agave. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that down low in the background and I'm going to go ahead and get us started off with the Sacred Woman Spirit Prayer, and then I'll do the Sacred Healing Prayer. All right. And these are both coming from the Sacred Woman book, the Sacred Woman's Guide, if you will. All right. By our sister Elder Queen of Four. Sacred Woman in the making, Sacred Woman reawaken, Sacred Spirit hold me near, protect me from all harm and fear. Beneath the stones of life, direct my steps in the right way as I journey through this vision. Sacred Spirit, surround me in your most absolute perfect light. Anoint me in your sacred purity, peace, and divine insight. Bless me, truly bless me as I share this sacred life. Teach me, Sacred Spirit, to be in tune with the universe. Teach me how to heal with the inner and outer elements of air, fire, water, and earth. Benevolent Sekhmet, help me to be in alignment with you, the source of all spiritual healing. Help me to create a beautiful mind capable of opening to spirit in every way. Strengthen me, Renew me, baptize me in spirit, that I may be free of the chains of earth. I am in need of spiritual healing. Grant me this, I pray, as I heal my spirit more and more every day. Please allow me to become an instrument, a tool to inspire sacred healing in every soul I meet that is seeking spiritual union with the divine. Do I. All right, Ashe. So, even our brothers, saying, can easily take these prayers and use them for themselves. The sacred woman is a guide for sacred women. Nevertheless, it can most definitely be used for our brothers who are dating or seeking sacred women, and then to help them as well on their sacred journeys. All right. Nevertheless, peace, Tashi. So what I just did was I gave us the sacred woman spirit prayer as well as sacred healing prayer to open us up. All right. Before I actually get into the discussion at hand. All right. So we got us some little music playing in the background. So what are we talking about this week, Nexus? We are talking about alkalines and acidics. All right. Much love to the sacred healers, my sisters on this team. All right. As we journey and we all seek to heal ourselves. Ty provided us with an amazing summary that I'm gonna give to you all right, to kind of introduce us to alkalines, aka bases, and then those things we know as acidics, the differences, how they affect our bodies, and some things that we can do to actually start to shift towards a more balanced body, spirit, mind, and body. Okay. So thank you all, Chantel. Much love to you as well, sister. She most definitely comes through with her sweet spirit, and she's an open vessel as well to healing, learning, and sharing what she learns along the way with all of us. All right. So it's all about each one teaching one and us being accountable first for ourselves and then accountable for assisting and being that accountability partner for our sisters. All right. So when we hear the terms alkaline, all right, a lot of us also in school might have heard of it referred to more so as a base. All right. So we also hear the term acidic. Some people oftentimes think of pH and the balancing of pH within our bodies and what we consume. So pH essentially means potential hydrogen, and potential hydrogen or hydrogens or pHs refers to the amount of hydrogen ions versus hydroxide ions found within substances, whether they're foods or non-foods like our metals and other substances that we find within nature, all right, or nature. pH also refers to the level of base or acidic something is or has. Hydrogen, which is our capital H, has an acidic pH level when a high amount of hydrogen ions are present. And then hydroxide, which would be your OHs, have an alkaline or base pH level when a low amount of hydrogen ions are present. So y'all make sure y'all stop me if for whatever reason you feel like I'm moving too fast, okay? I was trying to do a quick little split screen, but it doesn't want to let me. That's all right. So back to what I was saying. The levels of acidity and base concentrations are represented by a pH scale measuring from 0, which would be your most acidic, to a 14, which would be your most alkaline. So as we study and as we go and share information, we'll learn that even though the most acidic is a 14, we're not necessarily trying to achieve a 14 in this state. All right. So when we talk about the pH levels in the scale or measurement system, a 7 would be the middle, being your neutral point between the two extremes. All right. So 7 is usually associated with water. When water has is at its natural baseline, it's usually around a 7. Okay. And being that we're mostly made up of water, we should strive and aim to be somewhere around a 7 as well. Okay. So one of the most important indicated measurements on the pH scale as pertains to humans, and here we go right here, see ties on it, is the pH level of blood. All right. And then what helps to purify and cleanse our blood? Water. All right. So it falls between a 7.2 and a 7.4. All right. So when people say blood is thicker than water, it is just by a little bit. All right. Unless you're extremely health conscious, many of us don't think too much about keeping our pH balanced for the benefit of keeping our blood neutral. Our organs working properly and our body systems functioning at their best, always seeking homeostasis. So it's important that we try to maintain, or that we get into the mindset of thinking about the foods that we consume and how they actually impact and affect our body. All right. So earlier, I made the post when I was telling everybody what time I was going to be here. I said it was not a coincidence. It was universal order, right? It was all about obedience and, being on frequency and vibration with what's naturally occurring right now, right? So long live Nip. I know a lot of us have heard in the news and seen on social media and other outlets by this point the recent events that took place with Nipsey Hussle. All right. Some of us know that he was working on the documentary highlighting the case of Dr. Sebi that was won here in the United States. All right. And Dr. Sebi is one of our elders, our ancestors, teacher, leader, guide, master healers when it comes to alkaline and acidic studies and work. All right. And so when we talk about alkalines and acidics, we most definitely have to pay homage, honor, respect to him and the work that he did for us as a people in this time. So originally, when we first found out about how we were supposed to flow and order, the work that was being done through the Sacred Soul Sisters group, we were coming up with topics. And our initial topic before we decided to, set up specific deities to represent each group and things of that nature, and to start off with introducing that deity, and our deity is Sekhmet, the warrior healer. All right. And so, like I was saying, Ty, myself, and Chantel, we came together and we collaborated on some ideas. And being that it was all about healing and sacredness, we were like, okay, let's start off with diet and what we consume, and alkalines and acidics, and let's do a series breaking this down and introducing the sisters to this different way of life when it comes to nutrition and what we eat, and link the spiritual connections together so that we can, elevate on multiple sides at the same time. All right. And so what happened was we ended up, when we did the, what do we say, the kickoff for the Sacred Soul Sisters, each group did their introductions or did their intros based on the feminine energy. All right, y'all bear with me because it's a lot brewing. And I'm gonna take my time, all right, and allow it to get out for the betterment. All right. And so we were like, okay, great. We should start off by introducing the feminine energies and the deities and principles so that we have a better understanding of what these energies represent and what they're about. Being that the group is also about Kemetic studies and African spirituality and the African sciences and things of that nature, in introducing sisters to different principles and concepts that will ultimately be tools and resources that we will be able to pull from to elevate us to our highest selves. All right. In Segment, it's interesting that we're doing this on Sunday because she's associated with Ra, the sun being, the sun deity, the sun principle, heat energy, right? And this is the sacred soul, solar energy, sister. So it's a lot of fire right now. Like, I know y'all can probably feel it if you see and you're vibrating with me right now, because I can feel it all in here. So I got on my blue so that I can have some help and assistance with speaking. All right. So we didn't start off with this, right? And now here we are coming into this the week after Nipsey Hussle, transition. And I'm not bringing him up to focus on how he transitioned, but the work that he was doing before his transition, the work that was gonna highlight, the work and the evidence and the proof of our ancestor Dr. Sebi when it comes to the differences between alkalines and acidics. And if we know what those things are and we understand how they work with us and in us, then we can better utilize these tools and resources when it comes to us making choices about our diets. All right. So let's get back to it, sisters. Thank you all again for tuning in, for coming to share in this time, space, energy with me. All right. So yeah, let's get this work, ladies. So, like I was saying, our blood and our blood is between a 7.2 and a 7.4, all right, when it's neutral. So that's something important to hold in our minds. And again, what I said about water when it said it's naturally state. So water and our blood work hand in hand. When our bodies are at a neutral pH level or remain alkaline, all right, base, and that's something else, like base, we want to be based. We want to have a solid foundation, a solid ground. We want to have rich, neutral soil, so that we're standing on. And that's what we can look at our bodies as a base, as a foundational structure, through which we guide and move and work. All right. And so, to remain based, to remain rooted, alkaline, all right, we create and sustain an internal environment that is optimal for overall well-being and healthy functioning maintenance of our body, which make it conducive for repairing and healing daily. Daily. When we talk about, rebirth and being reborn, and every day is a new day of fresh start. Like, because when we go to sleep and when we move throughout our day, like, we do wake up rejuvenated, and we have to give our bodies those things that they need to be able to repair and heal on a daily basis. Like, we can't just, and I know it's work for me too. I'm not giving this to us like I don't need this work, because as I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself. I'm listening to the vibrations as they're being given to you. It's almost like it's on a repeat in my head. All right. And so it's important that we do this on a daily basis, because we don't want to constantly be sending our bodies and our spirits into a state of shock trauma. We want to get to a point where we base, out, and we are actually doing this consistently, frequently, like nonstop. It's a lifestyle, it's a way of life. Like, it's nothing we think about. Like, it just is. All right. So when our bodies are too acidic, the potential for the onset and increase of health problems can exist. Too much acid in the body weakens body systems, organs, and body structure, creating a host of problems like cardiovascular damage, including the construction of blood vessels and reduction of oxygen, weight gain, obesity, and diabetes. Things that when we look at our body, at our communities, and when people do health studies and we look at the statistics and data, like, for us as sisters, as African Kemetic, originals, natural beings, like these, we're high on the scale for these things. And a lot of it goes back to our bodies being too acidic. All right. And it's because of some of the conditions and external factors and what do we say? Environmental things that go into this. All right. So we gonna work on this. All right. Because it's okay for us to be confident in ourselves when we're overweight and when we have these things going on. Nevertheless, confidence and being comfortable are two different things. All right. We can be confident, but we shouldn't be comfortable with being obese and being diabetic and having weight issues, you know what I'm saying? Or having these cardiovascular issues or bladder and kidney conditions, which can also happen. Here in my community alone, in a small city called Albany, Georgia, like, we have now, it's almost like we have dialysis clinics set up on every corner, like a Waffle House or a McDonald's, and it's ridiculous. All right. We end up with immune deficiencies, things like HIV, AIDS, because our immune systems have been compromised and weakened to the point where our defense mechanisms that we naturally have, are not able to fight off these foreign agents and invaders. All right. Then we have things like the acceleration of free radical damaging agents, possibly contributing to cancerous mutations, And so now we know, like, the uncivilized are using all types of tricks and, just devilish tactics to try and harm us when it comes to these cancerous agents. So they are trying to put it in our bras, they put it in our feminine hygiene products, things of that nature. So we have to make sure that we're giving our bodies the things they need to be able to fight these wars. All right. Premature aging. They say black don't crack, but black can look real bad when we don't take care of ourselves. All right. It may not crack, but it will look whack. All right. So then we have things like osteoporosis when we talk about weak, brittle bones, hip fractures, bone spurs, and not being able to heal properly. All right. But they tell us to drink more milk. But we're going to learn that milk, number one, it's highly acidic. And that is something that we really shouldn't be consuming. And we're on one side, propaganda, media, industry, big brother, big business is telling us drink more milk, strong bones, muscles, teeth. But no, it's osteoporosis. Be like, don't drink milk. All right. It's a reason why we only are able to produce milk for a certain period of time and at a certain point in stage in our lives when we're, birthing children, because we're only supposed to give it to them and they're only supposed to consume it. We're only supposed to consume it for a brief period of time. All right. It's not something that we're just supposed to be consuming on a regular basis. And then when you take into consideration, okay, not yet, I'm gonna get back on topic, but then joint pain, all right, aching muscles and lactic acidic buildup, still on the same topic. When we talk about our people and their lactose, levels, we have a lot of are people who are lactose intolerant, which means that we cannot tolerate lactose, lactic acid, which is usually produced in dairy products, all right, which are usually what? Milk based. Okay, I'm just saying. Low energy and chronic fatigue. Like, think about it. How do a lot of us feel who know about alkaline diets and acidic diets, you know what I'm saying, and the differences, and have tried, fasting even for a period of time and then going back to their highly acidic diets? You see the difference in your energy level. You know what I'm saying? So these things have been proven. Like, it's not rocket science. We have brothers and sisters who've been doing the work, who are continuing to do the work, like even Brother Yada, who's picking up where Brother Sabi left off. We don't necessarily have to use the doctor, but we can use our brains and our spirits and, a little common sense. So what we talking about over here? Yes. Thank you, Ty. Okay. All right. I just had to check in, make sure everything was going good. Yes, it is. These dialysis clinics are ridiculous. Like, I don't understand it. Like, what? I mean, like, they got two different dialysis clinics next to each other, like renal kidney failure. Like, this stuff is serious. And so with education, we can most definitely, they say we perish for a lack of knowledge. So if we do what we can to educate each other, with the little bit that we have, and we pull it all together, then we can start to get somewhere, most definitely. They wonder why they can't tolerate it, right? They'll eat ice cream and dairy products and then like have upset stomach, all type of stuff. But then I love it. I gotta have it. I can't be without it, But dis-ease, like when we talk about dis-eases, there are dis-eases in the body. That mean that the body is not at ease, like we can give it some ease, we can give it some relief, just by reconsidering what we consume. Exactly. We shouldn't be drinking animals' milk in the first place. All right. So in general and on a daily basis, our bodies produce acid after the process of metabolism occurs. All right, so this is where we oftentimes usually hear people who are overweight say, "Oh no, it's because of my metabolism." Well, true, and I've been watching this little series on Netflix, and I advise you all to go and check it out too, because I just like doing stuff like that. If I'm gonna watch something, I like to watch good stuff and stuff that I can use to help, to assist in the elevation of the people. But it's called 9 Months That Made Me, or Made You. 9 Months That Made You, and in there it talks about, how our seeds, our young, our children, like their bodies and their metabolisms and their makeups and how they're able to adapt to certain diets is based off of our diet. And I've heard of this because I work in the healthcare, sector. And so it's called pre-exposed, what I'm saying, conditions. Like, it's what we pre-expose them to is pre-exposure, right? So whatever we eat and whatever we're intaking, whatever our diet is when they're in the birthing process, during those 9 months will determine how their body responds and reacts once they actually get into society. So if while we're pregnant and our children are in the womb, we have a high alkaline, plant-based, mucus-free diet, right? So then that's what we're training and conditioning their bodies and their systems to expect, like that's their diet, because they're eating and they're being fed off of what we eat and what we consume. So then when they come into the world, if this is what their bodies have been conditioned to, but then we put them out here and we expose them to McDonald's, to Burger King, to KFC, to, churches, to Mrs. Winners, to Dunkin' Donuts, to, all of this stuff, then their bodies are being traumatized. And now they're higher on the scale of, what I'm saying, not being able to deal with things like diabetes, high blood pressure, chronic fatigue, low energy, having these things as major issues because their bodies weren't programmed and conditioned to deal like that. All right. So when we consume foods and drink high levels of acidity, it creates an unhealthy environment within us, leading to some of the above mentioned conditions, like I stated before. All right. Meat, including beef, pork, chicken, and turkey, are acidic. Meat, including beef, pork, chicken, and turkey, are acidic. Dairy, such as milk, because people be like, is cheese dairy? What about cream cheese? What about whipped cream? All right, so dairy is anything that includes milk. All right, I would even go to the extent, yeah, anything that includes milk, any type of milk, butter, cheese, ice cream, like I was saying, whipped cream, sour cream, acidic. All right, grains such as rice and barley are acidic. All right, beverages, coffee, tea, even soft drinks are very acidic. And when we say tea, we're talking about the teas primarily that we get off of the shelves at our local grocers or markets, right? We're not talking about our teas that we're making ourselves using natural herbs that we studied and done the research on that show improve to aid and assist us in our alkaline diets. Not enough people are aware of this knowledge. Once they care and acknowledge the habits, then we can change them, moving toward a healthier self. Yes. Yes, it is very harmful to Western medicine. Nevertheless, is very beneficial to us. And so we have to make sure that we're doing our part to make sure that the people are getting it. All right. And so it's interesting because I always talk about, ever since I started my transition, like much love to Dr. Sabi because this has changed my life spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally. Like I'm not where I want to be, not where I'm exactly supposed to be yet. Nevertheless, I'm a whole lot better than where I was. And I was blessed and fortunate, I guess I can say, that when I came into this journey, I wasn't I wasn't like many of our brothers and sisters, I was obese. All right. I didn't necessarily have the diabetes and the other complications that come with that, but I most definitely was obese and overweight for my body mass and makeup. So I had some work to do. But look at me now. Hey, all right, and look at y'all. Like y'all are beautiful, man. And we're gonna continue to glow up and grow up as we journey and transition together, all right? Because this is a refresher for me. And so it's like, yeah, girl, remember? And so it's a good refresher too, being that tomorrow I actually start a 7-day raw vegan fast. And if anyone is interested and would like to join in it with me, then feel free, inbox me, and I will most definitely get you the information on what you need so you'll still have time to be able to go out to the market today if you need to and pick up a few things. All right. But yeah, I'm excited because I'm in need of a good fast right now. And so this is gonna set me up to potentially do a 7-day water fast immediately following. All right. So anybody wanna turn it into a challenge. Let's be accountable for this week and do the fast, like if y'all up for it. So fruit and fruit juices contain high concentrations of acidics too. All right. So or acid. So we're gonna actually detail and highlight what those fruit and fruit juices are later on. But just know a lot of our fruits and the fruit juices that we consume are highly concentrated in acid. All right. So simple carbohydrates such as potatoes, pasta, and breads contain large amounts of acids. So why are acids? Why is it so important to know about these acids? Because acids lead to mucus buildup, right? And so when mucus buildup leads to all of those things that I was talking about earlier. I can hear the birds chirping, y'all, so I was kind of like drawn that way. All right. So, coupled with the fact that much of the food available for consumption is processed, genetically modified, and created in a lab, it's no wonder that we are subtly and consistently susceptible to various cancers, heart conditions, inflammation, chronic pain, and newly formed or rare health conditions that become debilitating and life threatening. Avoiding such consumption is challenging, but possible and necessary. Avoiding such consumption is challenging. Nobody said it was going to be easy. I don't know if y'all remember that from church, but nobody ever told you that the road would be easy. Hey, but we ain't come this far. We ain't leaving nobody, you know what I'm saying, out. It's possible and it's necessary. All right. It most definitely is if we really trying to live our best lives. Okay. We need to maintain a more alkaline state internally for our bodies to be allowed to reduce the acidity levels we deal with daily. If we don't maintain neutrality or higher levels at base, our bodies will take the minerals and nutrients it needs to combat the high acidic levels, all right, thus causing further problems in the absence of what is needed for healthy functioning. Two conditions related to consistently high levels of acid in the body are metabolic acidosis, which means there is too much acid, and respiratory acidosis, which means there is too much carbon dioxide. Acidosis can be brought about from diabetes, chronic diarrhea, and diseases of the kidney, liver, and respiratory tract, digestive problems, breathing difficulties, confusion, weakness, headaches, and feeling tired more often than not can be symptoms of high acidic levels. All right? These symptoms are developed conditions and can lead to shock, comas, even death. So, ladies, sisters, sacred soul sisters, how can you tell if you may be too acidic? Well, you can't sleep, bones feel weak, you're gaining weight, sensitive teeth, feeling of depression. How many of us just feel disconnected, like you just don't want to, like it's just like, whatever, like nothing matters, irritability, easily frustrated, aggravated, like you have those blank moments and brain falls, brain freezes, it's just like, all right, frequent sickness or illness, colds, flu, other infections, shortness of breath, hormone imbalances, dry skin in the warmer, hotter months when, that's usually a time when you have moisture skin, or your skin is usually moist. All right. Joint pain and inflammation, constant headaches, chronic pain, stiffness or soreness in the neck or other areas of the body, like maybe lower back joint pains, chronic allergies, or sinus issues. So, what can you do about it? What say ye, Ty? You can see your doctor and have your pH level tested, or you can purchase some pH testing strips and test your urine or saliva. If the test indicates levels below 7, then you need to begin working on increasing your alkaline levels. How? By eating fresh fruits and vegetables that are organic or homegrown from your trusted local farmers. All right. And then we're going to also provide us as the week goes on, and as the months, because it is a series. All right, goes on, then we'll most definitely share with you all different tips on recommended foods that are higher in alkaline, all right, on the pH scale. So, all right, we talked about eating the fresh fruits and vegetables. Stay away from eating too much meat, dairy, and processed foods. All right, drinking water that is alkaline, spring water. All right, you can we'll provide you with some recommendations when it comes to drinking water as well. Stop drinking coffee. For those of us who feel like we just have to have our coffee. I've never really been a coffee drinker, but I do like my teas, and I like my herbs. So roasted dandelion root has been said to be a good recommendation for a coffee substitute. Nevertheless, I just think roasted dandelion root tea is just good. With a little agave nectar added to it, if you're one of those who likes your coffee to be a little sweeter, or you can, drink it black. Dairy and processed foods also are things that we want to try and stay away from. All right. We were talking, or decrease the amount of coffee we drink each day or week until we get to a certain point. All right. Exercise regularly so your metabolism can balance out and your body systems can function through all the body to take what is necessary to control the acidity level in your body, moving toward a more basic or alkaline state. All right. So when we talk about exercising, so yes, a lot of us consider walking an exercise. Nevertheless, it is a natural mode of transportation, so it's not necessarily an exercise. All right. So if we're gonna say that we're walking for exercise, we should be trying to power walk or speed walk. All right. Nevertheless, we want to make sure that we get active, that we incorporate some type of exercise routine, high activity level into our workouts to, again, like we said, assist us in balancing out our metabolism and raising it to a level where we'll be able to deal with those acidics and base out. A healthy and consistent alkaline pH level is maintained between 7.3 and 7.45. This is not to say that acid is not important to our bodies, all right, because our stomach needs a high acidic level in order to properly and thoroughly digest the various types of food, all right, that we eat and consume. So it becomes a consistency. That we can easily absorb into our body cells and blood through the intestines. Maintaining a healthy balance between the two starts with understanding, and understanding pH and its effect on us. Different areas or systems in our bodies have different pH levels to do the job they are meant to do. All right? This is good stuff. As mentioned earlier, the stomach has a high acidic level or low pH of 4 to 6 in the upper stomach and 1.5 to 3 in the lower stomach. That's some really acidic stuff, that 1.5 to 3. And so, like, if we think about it, anyone, like when our diets were highly acidic and we might have got sick, had a stomach virus, whatever, we were nauseous and vomiting, and they be like, oh, you're just throwing up acid, like the yellow bile. Like, and if you remember, like your throat, your esophagus, the lining would be extremely sore, like it would feel raw, like it would burn, and it was almost like nothing could soothe it. So just imagine like what is going on in our bodies at that. I mean, if that's what we're bringing up, then that means that's what is inside of us, and if that doesn't taste good and that's how that feels coming up, just imagine, what I'm saying, like what we're doing to our insides and how it feels, to our organs and things of that nature. All right. So it's because of the hydrochloric acid that helps with enzyme functioning to break down food. Our mouths have a pH of 6.5 to 7.5. So somewhere between acidic and alkaline, in order to promote the effects of amylase and palatine enzymes to help initially break down food entering our mouths. The intestines also fall somewhere between acidic and alkaline, ranging from 5 to 7. Also due to enzyme activity for further breakdown for absorption. You can do your own research, which we most definitely highly encourage, and look at various pH scales on Google Images or other sites to get an idea of the different substances which fall in the category of either alkaline or acidic. Nevertheless, feel free to, tune in and check out the Sacred Soul Sisters group throughout the week and weeks to come for this information as well, because we'll most definitely be sharing the differences in the category breakdowns, all right, when it comes to our foods, fruits, vegetables, things of that nature, all right, even grains. So if you think it's not important, like we said earlier, think again, because it's most definitely important. Taking care of our bodies, our minds, and our spiritual self starts first with gaining knowledge and wisdom, and then taking action. In our series about alkalinity, together we will learn more about a deeper look in we will learn more and take a deeper look into the negative and positive health effects of alkaline versus acid levels in the body. Consumption for pH balance, maintaining pH balance naturally and spiritually, providing samples, recipes, meditations, rituals, and other resources and insights to a more balanced and alkaline self. Soul sisters, I thank you. I appreciate you all again for your love, for your patience, for your time, energy. All right. I'm not going to leave y'all right yet. I'm going to slide through and look at some of the comments. All right. So that we can talk a little bit. If you all have any questions for me, like I say, I do live and strive to maintain a high alkaline based diet. I do most definitely follow Dr. Sabi's nutritional guide. I would say I'm still a baby in this journey, but I've been doing this 2 years now. All right. Some highs, some lows, some pointers. Because like I said, like Ty said, it's a challenge. Nevertheless, it's most definitely necessary. So I like challenges. That's why I say this coming week, starting tomorrow, I'm doing a 7-day raw vegan fast. And we can turn it into a challenge if y'all want to. Inbox me, I'll get you the information, or better yet, I'll just drop it in the group. All right. And I'll probably put it in the files. So that way at any point in time, if anyone would like to go back and say, hey, new members, we have that information, and it'll always be there for us to reference and go back to. All right. So let's see here. I love y'all. Thank y'all for coming through. It is a process that requires focus and planning. Most definitely, you want to have your ingredients and what you need in place. How does one juice turmeric? All right, so I've never actually had any whole turmeric root. I just have had turmeric powder. Nine Essentials. Shout out to our brother at Nine Essentials. Most definitely copy some of his turmeric powder. It's most definitely healthy. Nevertheless, is not necessarily considered alkaline. All right. Nevertheless, as we journey and we get towards a more alkaline diet, turmeric is a good recommendation, though, just for health purposes. No, Ty, Facebook being mean, it won't let it play. Oh, fruit with the sad face. No, no sad face. Fruit is good for you. Like, hey, man, ladies, hey, sisters. Um, y'all like how I'm sitting up here. I was gonna say something about this too. Like, y'all getting to see me all raw and stuff right now. um, Being all weird and cool. I was like, ooh, let's just play around with this thing this morning for the sisters. All right. So let's see. Right. So turmeric comes in the form of a root like ginger. It does, most definitely. And I do recommend ginger root because actually that's how we're gonna be starting off our day these next 7 days with ginger shots. Wake up. All right. All right, Sister Vicky. I see you want to join the fast. I most definitely, like I said, I'm gonna just drop the information in our files so that way we can start building up, some files and we have some references. Okay, we got the recommendations on the turmeric root, but in case anybody missed it, if you come across some turmeric root, you can dry it out by cutting it up and baking it on a low oven temp for several hours, or you can purchase the powder from, like we said, Nine Essentials. All right, that is the website, nineessentials.com. Add to your smoothie or juice or just alkaline pure water. The taste is strong, so you can add a little agave or honey until you get used to it. Most definitely. I like it in my smoothies too. All right, Laura. I hear you. All right. I love veggies and fruits. Yes. A great fast, though. That's what I was about to say. A great fast. Yes. Red seeded grapes. pH essential to know. Eat 80% alkaline, 20% acidic. Yes, Ty. Balance, sisters, balance. And that 20% acidity is to make sure that we're giving our stomach the amount of acid that it needs to be able to break down the alkaline foods that we're ingesting. All right, so that it can function the way it's supposed to function because it's naturally supposed to be acidic. All right. No sugar. Stay away from the sugar. All right. And sisters, like, I'm gonna share this with y'all because this is the Sacred Soul Sisters group, right? And we're supposed to be able to share, even though I'm actually doing this on YouTube too, so people can kind of see what's taking place in the Sacred Soul Sisters. So it's that mint seed time, or however we Aunt Flo, the home girl from next door that we don't like, she knocking. Anywho, it said that high sugar is having a high sugar based diet most definitely affects us more during this time. All right, so when it's that time of the month for you, it is encouraged, that we maintain a low sugar, low carb based diet, like stay away from the starches and things of that nature during this time to help us with our natural energy imbalance, you know what I'm saying? So that we don't become highly frustrated and aggravated and even more fatigued and things of that nature. All right, so I just thought that would be a good tip that I'll throw in there. Right. So It's a difference in your limes and key limes, and we'll talk about that too, as opposed to your lemons, and a little bit about the at some point maybe even a difference between hybrids and GMOs. All right. See, Laura said she noticed that her energy was different when, she got out of that habit of doing certain alkaline things. Pay attention to your body. Right. This is what it's all about as we go through this alkaline versus acidic process, is that we will learn to pay more attention to our bodies, as we heal ourselves. Because that's what it's all about. When we know ourselves, we're better able to manage ourselves and control ourselves. All right. And oftentimes I find that the issue with a lot of things that we do and we face is simply that we don't know ourselves. All right. And we haven't spent enough time and we haven't given enough focus and attention to ourselves. All right. Too much tea, caffeine can cause breast pain, right? And lead possibly to breast cancer. I'm doing a med plan today for one of my patients with multiple myeloma. That's exactly what she said this morning, Laura. Sugar is most people's challenge. Right. And it's but because it's like an addiction at this point, like we're sugar addicts here in this corporation, because we know like most of our foods are processed, and a lot of the processed foods, when we look at, and the thing we don't do is we don't read ingredients and nutritional labels. We'll see added sugars, added sugars, added sugars. Like it'll say this whole little cute thing on the label, but then when you look at the nutrition and you look at the, other ingredients, those additives, like sugar is high in the top 5 of the ingredients when we look at the foods we consume, or that we have been consuming or had consumed, on a regular basis. So it's almost like fresh out of the womb, sugar. We get sugar. So when we start to transition, it's almost like we're going through withdrawal. And that's why it's like, ooh, I really would like to have some, because all of your favorites usually were high in sugars. I know mine are. Even on the health kick, even when it comes to vegan and being, eating alkaline, I still be trying to figure out what kind of sweets I can eat. But you learn to control it, and you learn to maintain and to incorporate and to balance out. All right. So if you one of them people you like sugar, then let that be your 20%. A small portion of your 20% of your acidic diet. You know what I'm saying? This is a process. It's levels to it. Take your time, most definitely. If this is your journey, your body can go through withdrawal. What I'm talking about, I hadn't even got to Ty's frequency, vibration, universally ordered. All right. Your body can go through withdrawal from foods and fluids, just like coffee, making it more challenging for you to change your eating habits. Hey, I even created, and I just saw somebody talking about a med plan, but I created a, how do we say, like a dietary transitional plan, right? And it's called the Breakdown to Build Up. And it was done specifically with this in focus, with this in mind. If anybody is really looking to elevate and to really transition, like it's really simple, it's really easy. Like I did it with the old me in mind and the new me in heart. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. So knowing who I was before and, the heart of the person that I am now, it's like I put those together and I created this plan so that anyone at any phase or stage in this transition would be able to adapt and journey and to make a smooth transition without having to go through that or feel like it's too challenging or too complicated to make this transition. All right. How many times a day can you drink lemon water? Is it cool to add honey? Hey, I suggest lime water, key lime water. Um, you can add lime to it. You can add a little agave to it, to sweeten it. And it's okay if, I mean, I recommend a gallon of water a day. Dr. Sabi does. Other holistic herbalists, nutritionalists, holistic, encourage a gallon of water a day. So I would say you could add it to all of your water for the day. You could switch it up and add other fruits to it, that you might like blueberries. You can even do cucumbers, you know. Yeah, you can switch it up. So you don't have to, but lemon specifically, I wouldn't consume too much lemon because it's higher in acidics. All right. I'm getting started today and need help and information. All right, sis, I got you, Vicky. Yes, yes. Sugar is difficult. Start decreasing amounts until you get used to it and stick with it. Right. And that's why I'm thankful for this group and other groups like it. So that we can help to assist in being accountable one and with each other. But yeah, I do have that guide available for a small fee. Can't give it all away for free. But I love y'all though. Thank you, Ty. Um, I always strive to, make me proud, make y'all proud, make Divine Creator proud, all the ancestors. 3 times a day is safe. Oh, for the water and raw honey. Okay. Good recommendation. Thank you for that, Lovie. Ginger tea for my kids when they're sick. Yes. And I had some elderberry tea here. Add some elderberry to that ginger. Some elderberry, ginger, maybe some natal. Yes, real turmeric root will dye your hands, even the turmeric powder. Um, in ancient times, I'm almost certain that turmeric was used as a yellow orange natural dye for tie dye. Y'all know I like the tie dye. I recommend the Crystal Geyser water, the what is it, the ethanol? Is it ethanol water? Is that how it's pronounced? And then there's another one. It's a blue bottle. I can share them though. I'll share them. Spring water is recommended. Distilled or shungite. Right. Um. So you're saying I can't go on a chocolate binge right before my period? You can. You know what I'm saying? You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you choose. I mean, it's your life. Live it the way you. Nevertheless, what I'm saying is where you might have eaten 4 or 5 Snickers or Hershey bars, you know what I'm saying? Just do you like one Hershey bar and spread it out across the week. Ooh, like next is you tripping, sis. It's all right. It's all right. Everything in moderation. We all a work in progress. Um, there is a debate, Joy, about the water. However, I just go with spring water, unless I can get to the country and get some natural well water. Um, you know, like that's my thing. Janelle, yes, dates dates are great. When I first started this transition, dates, this was my go-to for my sweet, you know what I'm saying, situation. Dates, raisins, and walnuts. That was my little trail mix, like, of heaven. Like in one date, like you don't even need the whole thing because it's gonna satisfy your sweet tooth. It really is. Thank you for that injection, Janelle, because yes, most definitely dates. I got a date with dates, and they're good for your digestion. Um, Sugar and chips are my weakness. Yes. So sugar was mine, chips was my mom's. I she still has her chips every now and again, but again, like we say, moderation, because I still get my sweets in, moderation. So focus and support from yes. Snack on dried fruits, yes. Yes, yes. My mom was type 1 juvenile diabetic, so she never gave us many sweets. That was good. That was good. My brother, who's transitioned, my ancestor, uh, my sweet love, my big brother, he had juvenile diabetes too before he transitioned. And so like his life most definitely has been motivation, encouragement, like, and he's most definitely been a guide and an assistant in this transition and my journey as far as nutrition is concerned. So we can most definitely heal ourselves. We have the tools and the resources to do so. Um, fruit infused water is great. All right, so pineapples aren't necessarily recommended when we talk about alkaline versus acids. And again, like I said, we're going to talk more about that because pineapples have high acidic levels. All right, they're really sweet, but they're high acidic, high in acid. And that's why when you eat them, if you eat too many, you can feel the burn. Even if you like drinking pineapple juice, like you can feel the burn. Like it's almost like what I was talking about when we used to throw up and we get to a point where it's like, oh, we're not throwing up anything else but acid. Like that's what pineapple juice felt like to me going down. And like eating too many like pineapples would feel like that after a while, even though they would be really good, really sweet, really juicy. Like, yes, but that feeling I can do without. All right. My gin challenge. Hmm. They told me not to eat additional sugar when I was pregnant. And he was right. My son does not like sweets, not his preference. Doc told me we are addicted to sugars from our womb. Yes. And so again, to Tanisha, like I was saying, what we consume before, during our pregnancies, even after, especially being that we breastfeed, determines our children's diets and how well they'll be able to adjust to these Western European diets. All right. So if we could have high sugar based diets, they're gonna have high sugar based diets. We eat a lot of processed food. So even if your son, say for instance, because during your pregnancy, and this is why I encourage the 9 months that made you documentary series or docu-series on Netflix. All right, y'all make sure y'all check that out because it talks about this, right? So based off of what they said and based off of what I've learned and I've studied even before seeing that about us and our diets and those pre-exposed conditions from the womb, from the mother to the child, is that even if your child had if he had light sugars and sweets, he would have been more susceptible for things like diabetes and other things of that nature, simply because his body's insulin levels and the way his immune system developed and what it prepared for wasn't that. All right. Use copper cups, yes, to drink water. And if you don't have a copper one, use glass. All right. I'm looking for me a nice glass water bottle so that we can start transitioning away from the plastic bottles. All right. Even though they say BPA free, like plastic is still not the best holder of water. All right. Don't get caught up with which water, just drink water. Right. You can even boil your water yourself if you get it out the tap, Yes, well water is awesome. When I'm on the islands, well water is all we get. Yes. I do pay close attention to what kind of water I buy. I'm on Deer Park right now. Yeah. Okay. So, sisters, those of you on YouTube tuned in, all right, that is the end. That is all I have for you right now. When it comes to alkaline versus acidics, all right, as it relates to the segment Warrior Healers Week series. Be sure to pay attention, like I said, to the information and the resources that are going to be shared throughout the week and weeks to come. All right. But before I go, if you all would, with me, take a couple of deep breaths. All right. We're going to do like 3 of these loves. And we're going to, yes, pay attention to your plastic. I got a nice glass one, fruit holder from TJ Maxx. Oh, awesome. All right. So let's do a couple breaths and then we out. Breathe in. Peace, love, divine light. In the words of our brother Jamar Milton, may the divine force in me greet the divine force in you. Until next time, I'm out.